Hi, my name's Amanda Easton. I'm a performer, singer-songwriter from Sydney, Australia. I make retro-inspired, theatrical electronic pop. But when I'm not doing my own music, I do
cabaret,
cover band gigs, solo gigs, tribute shows, recording sessions. Welcome to my Circle of Light vlog.
But I'll be watching you.
Hello, how are you? Hi, Larry. Hi, Sydney. Lovely to see you. Happy Tuesday or Monday evening for you guys. We have a bit of a drizzly, wintry day out there, which is, not bad because it's actually been so beautiful lately. But sometimes it surprises me that I think the earth knows when we've said suddenly it's going to be autumn or winter, and it just goes bang and the weather starts changing almost on the day. Hi, Barbara. Lovely to see you. We have Germany and we have the US here. We have up the coast of Australia. Hi, Jill. Lovely to see you as well. You have to leave again in a few minutes, Larry. No worries. It's lovely to see you however long you can hang out with us. Hi, Sydney. That's right. You spelt Sydney as in my city. I don't know if you did that on purpose, but hi to both Sydneys, I guess. And I do like Sydney, S-I-D-N-E-Y. I do like the fact that you've taken on the Australian lingo and you're saying g'day. I can't hear your accent, but I have a feeling it's spot on. So lovely to see you all. Hi, David. David, I've been thinking about you. You are from Texas, aren't you? And, of course, we get the international news here in Australia. We might be miles away, but, of course, we get the big stuff that happens. And, of course, we've heard about your state's struggle with the power, and it's a tragedy, and especially with everything else that's going on in the world. It's a little bit like us. We've got bushfires in some areas and, dealing with the pandemic at the same time. So Peter from Queensland, yes, and you are the Sunshine State and you've probably actually got sunshine today, unlike us. Kevin, lovely to see you. Happy Monday, Tuesday morning. Absolutely. Lou from the Southern Highlands. So David, I don't know if that's affected you dreadfully personally. I'm sure it has affected at least people you know, and I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope they get the power issues sorted. Can we please just have a few months in the whole world where we just have a bit of normality and not big things happening, please? Anyway, I've been thinking about you, David, so I hope you're doing okay. And, we are lucky in Australia at the moment. You built campfires. Oh, well, I guess, if you're good at doing that, it's probably quite nice to have a fire, but it would be nice to have some actual power and electricity, huh? Pretty crazy. Hi, Alan. Lovely to see you. To keep the well house from freezing. Wow. As I was saying, I guess we're fairly lucky we're very lucky in Australia at the moment, and we all know that things can change on a dime, as Americans would say. Do you really say that, or is it just in the movies? Because if you say change on a 5-cent piece, doesn't really sound quite the same. But, in Australia, obviously, we've had periods where we've had very low or no COVID numbers, and then suddenly everything changes and everything shuts down. And that's what happened around Christmas time for us, and almost all my work disappeared. But, that's not the worst of it, obviously, but that's how it affected me. It's we've had 32 days of zero numbers in New South Wales, my state now, and so my work is coming back. It's really starting to flow back. I work a lot at the Star Casino in the city, and that was, they're a great employer for me, and that is starting this Thursday. So hopefully that'll be a weekly gig again. Chip, lovely to see you, mate. So I'm very glad that, things are starting to happen again as far as live music goes here in Australia. It's been, trickling on all through this time, but it's coming back more in force, which is great. In fact, I want to tell you about my weekend. I had 3 gigs, which in the old days would be normal, but at the moment, hella good to see you too, Chip. We are live. This is actually I can say hello to you live, which is better, isn't it? I mean, as I love the fact that people will catch up with the live streams later. It's always nicer for me if I can say hello. Yeah, I know, Sydney. Our country does react very strongly when there are any numbers like there's one case, shut the place down. But honestly, it's been working. So, you know, I'm not going to complain about that. But yes, my weekend, so I had 3 gigs and that was, you know, like the old days. I'm not used to it. Oh my goodness. But I'd love to tell you about them because I had such a great weekend. I really did. So Thursday night, I did a gig at a place called the Ramblin' Rascal. And it's the first time I'd ever been there. And it's one of those little bars. I've got to explain Sydney, right? The capital of New South Wales, the biggest city in Australia. We had the worst laws as far as entertainment goes. Oh, Wuthering Heights, I haven't forgotten you. I haven't forgotten Wuthering Heights at all. It's on my list. It's not a matter of being too busy. It's just, it's one of those songs that, one, I love it to death, and 2, it's really difficult to sing and play. So I just want to get it right. So I've been practicing. It is coming. And keep reminding me, but I actually won't forget because it's one of my favourite songs in the entire world, which is also the problem because I adore Kate Bush and living up to her is very difficult and, you know, have to be brave. Anyway, so Thursday night was the Rambling Rascal, and in Sydney we used to have these really draconian laws when it came to entertainment venues for live music. We've never been great at live music in Australia as far as government support. I feel like we've had some great artists that no doubt, you know from In Excess to even Sia currently, some people that have done very well. So it's not a matter of there being a lack of live music talent in Australia, but it used to be that if you had a live music venue and even just normal pubs that didn't have live music, they were really, really strict rules. You know, people had to come in and eat. They couldn't just go to a bar and drink. They actually had to get a meal, and they also obviously we want everyone to be safe, but as far as the occupational health and safety requirements went, they were just over the top strict. And so a tiny little venue simply couldn't afford to put on live music because what was asked of them was too much. Anyway, I don't know, 10 years or so ago, that all changed and there were some sweeping reforms. And basically we went in line with a lot of the other big cities in Australia. And it meant, we're still going, but it's getting there. It meant that all these little, we call them small bars, popped up all throughout Sydney, and a lot of them could have live music, even if it just meant, you know, a guitarist or a singer and a pianist or whatever in the corner, you know, not a whole music venue, but just some lovely live music to add atmosphere to the place. And it just changed the whole face of Sydney in the most positive way. And one of these new bars that I only went to for the first time and performed at on Thursday night is Ramblin' Rascal. So basically you're right in the middle of the CBD, right in the centre of Sydney. You wouldn't know the place was there unless you were told. There's a Tony and Guy hairdresser. I think they're international, aren't they? I think it's a British chain, so I think you'd know them. Anyway, big kind of flash hairdressing salon. And then you wouldn't notice it unless you knew, but there's a little doorway next to it with stairs going down into a basement. And that's the Ramblin' Rascal. So it's a little basement venue and it's all been graffitied artfully, you know, on purpose. And it's not the tiniest bar I've been to because there are some that are like as big as your bathroom and they're really cute too. But this was I think, you know, probably a couple of hundred capacity in normal times. But just a really cool vibe, almost an old school bar, but actually really hip, you know, those kind. And so, you know, there's no stage. They just set aside an area where the band can play. And so you got to like your music loud, basically. And it's rock as well. That's kind of their thing. And so I played with Pete Northcote is the name of the guy that puts the band together, and he's considered one of Australia's best guitarists. So it's an absolute pleasure working with him. And I mean, the drummer and the bass player were amazing as well. So only three-piece band, and then plus the singer. So they have a different guest singer every week, and they've been working there for 3 or 4 years. And they've now got a deal with the place, they can't have their full capacity of patrons. And so they're doing a deal. You just pay us what you can pay us until you can pay us properly again, which I think is fantastic. So I was so happy to go in for like half price if it meant just doing a cool gig with cool people and doing the right thing by the venue, and they're doing the right thing by us because they will, they said if we make this much money, we'll pay you more. And, when we're able to have more people back in the bar, we'll pay you the proper amount that we always have. So, yeah, it's an intimate kind of setting, but I really dug it. And a lot of the same crowd apparently go there every week. So you've got a really loyal, and it's turned into kind of a community. They all knew each other. And I knew some people from other places, but mostly it was a new crowd for me, which is a bit scary walking in because especially since they have an amazing group of singers. I was a little bit intimidating as their guest performers in the past, but also because you've got an audience that already love their existing community of singers that have been before. And this is my first time, but I didn't need to be worried. They were very welcoming and very lovely and just proper music fans. Sometimes you go to a venue and the music seems secondary, which is fine as well. It can be background music and there's nothing wrong with that if that's what it's meant to be. But this was not that place. This was front and centre. It's all about the band and rock out hard. Don't worry that it's a small place. No one's going to have their fingers in their ears, which I've experienced before. Hi, John. Lovely to see you. And so I had an absolute ball. We were singing AC/DC, like full-on rock. It was really fun, but also Fleetwood Mac, Blondie. Ben, hello, lovely to see you. Wayne, nice to see you too. And so I had an absolute blast playing with the band at the Ramblin' Rascal. Just so much fun. And I will tell you about my other gigs in a little while, but today we're doing breakup songs. Now, I know that breakup songs are meant to be sad. Well, they are, but there's something about them. John, lovely to see you too. There's something about breakup songs or melancholy music in general that makes me happy. Maybe just because I'm a weirdo, but I also think that you kind of can confront the sadness and get it out. That's the way I think of it. I released my album Wallflower officially last week. I think it was Saturday or Sunday. It was February the 20th. If you've already ordered this, it's on the way. I actually started sending them out a few days before because they arrived. And they all come with this as well, which is, I know it looks like your grandma. It's me. This represents because the album is all about looking back, sitting in this room a lot of the time during our COVID isolation, thinking back to, the time mainly when I was a teenager and I was a wallflower, which is the title of the album, and, thinking how all the different experiences that we all build up over the years go into forming us now. And, it's easy to turn back and kind of regret things that you've done, but you wonder if you'd be in such a good place if those things didn't happen in many cases. So it's a very reflective, nostalgic album. And this, which is similar to the back cover, is about the nostalgia aspect. And the front cover, which is all kind of white and modern, is looking towards the future. So teenager, just a few years ago in my brain, perhaps. So, yes, it is all about sad songs today, but it doesn't mean we have to be sad at all. Definitely, Dan, that is it. Music is cathartic. Ken, lovely to see you. Yeah, some people just write whole albums of breakup songs. I got to say, last week and the week before when I was doing love songs, it was actually quite difficult to find songs of my own that were just pure love songs. And that's not because I don't have love in my life. It's just because that I really enjoy that cathartic process, of writing sad songs. So I'm actually going to play a video of this song, which is probably one of the saddest breakup songs I've written. So, Chip saying great breakup songs are my forte these days. Well, sometimes when it's the negative things that are happening to us, we are more compelled to write as songwriters as well. And I guess it's just a strong emotion sometimes that makes you write. And that can be happiness too, hopefully. But there's something about sad, melancholy feelings that make you want to get your emotions out more. And this is a little lyric video from my song At the Door, which was the third single from the current Wallflower album.
It felt like every day was summer for me and you. Days stretched out ahead forever, yellow and blue. A Hollywood house, open top cars, a lifetime ago. Now it's all here in a battered shoebox. It overflows. 10 years of us, you packed it up, left it at my door, and all there is left of us is at the door. You didn't stop to say hello or see my face. You left me with these photographs and nothing to say. You dropped it all off in this battered shoebox and slipped away. 10 years of us, you packed it up, left it at my door, and all there is left of us is at the door. I know we had a fairy tale life before the rug got pulled away. Old hurts are only whispers now. The history of us can never really change. 10 years of us, you packed it up, left it at my door, and all there is left of us is at the door. 10 years of us, you packed it up, left it at my door, and all there is left of us is at the door.
Yes, as you say, Eric, Paul McCartney sang, wrote Sad Songs Say So Much. And yes, John, you've heard me tell the story of one day my mum rang up and said, "Why'd you leave all this stuff at my door?" And it turned out it was a whole lot of photographs and things like that that could only have come from my ex-boyfriend. So it felt like he packed me up and dumped me at the door. Oh, was it Elton John, sorry, that said Sad Songs Say So Much? What did Paul McCartney say? He had a sad song kind of song too, didn't he? I'm sure you can tell me. Hi, John, how are you? Nice to see you. So I'm going to sing, this is not really a sad song, but it is a breakup song. It's, thank you, Jill. It's a song from Amy Winehouse, and I think while there is definitely melancholy in a lot of her music, she always has that kind of fierceness, which I love about her as well. I don't know if you can hear the birds outside. They're being very, very noisy. Hopefully they're singing along. Actually, usually it's Smokey giving them a hard time. Oh, but, you know, somebody's asleep. That's Smokey Cam right there. That's just pretty much at my feet. You can see all the cables and stuff in the background for this setup, and that's little Smokey having a little snooze, which she does a lot of. Okay, bit of Amy. Meet you downstairs on the bar and hope your rolled up sleeves and your skull t-shirt. You said, "What did you do with him today?" And sniffed me out like I was Tanqueray. 'Cause you're my fella, my guy. Hand me my Stella and fries. By the time I'm out the door, you tear me down like Roger Moore. I cheated myself like I knew I would. I told you I was trouble. You know that I'm no good. Upstairs in bed with my ex-boy. He's in a place but I can't get no joy. Thinking of you in the final throes. This is where my buzzer goes. Run out to meet you, chips and pizza. You say when we're married, 'cause you're not bitter. There'll be none of him no more. I cry for you on the kitchen floor. I cheated myself like I knew I would. I told you I was trouble. You know that I'm no good. Sweet reunion, Jamaica and Spain. Well, like how we were again. I'm in the tub, you on the seat. Lick your lips as I soak my feet. Then you notice little carpet burn. My stomach drops and my guts churn. Then you shrug and it's the worst. Who truly stuck that knife in first? I cheated myself like I knew I would. I told you I was trouble. You know that I'm no good. I cheated myself like I knew I would. I told you I was trouble. You know that I'm no good. chips and guitar. That song's about you, Chip. Oh, I should have claimed it as my own city if I could. I love that song and I love Amy Winehouse. Paul McCartney's sad song was so bad from the Pipes of Peace. See, you guys, you're all like the musical minds of Facebook here. Thank you. Okay. Well, so I want to tell you about the rest of my weekend. So I told you about Thursday night at the Ramblin' Rascal. Thanks, David. Hey, I would love that. Hey, Casey, how are you? Great to see you. Delta and I should do a piano duet. I think she's a much better piano player than me, but that doesn't matter. She wouldn't mind. She can take the hard bits. I know. I so agree, John. I've read actually a couple of Amy Winehouse biographies, including her dad's, who I'm very suspicious of, to be honest. And thank you, Dan. And I've also seen the movie, and it's so sad just from a human being's perspective, but she was such a major talent, and can you imagine what she would be doing now? I mean, her albums would just be getting better and better, and it's just sad for all of us. So, yeah. Yes, back to my weekend, which was not sad. It was a lot of fun. So Thursday night was the Ramblin' Rascal with Peter Northcote's rock band, and that was rock, baby, and I loved it. Oh, I want to tell you too, when I was there, I've got this thing as a singer, and I'm not the only singer that does this, but there is probably very little scientific or medical evidence to back up what we think. But we believe, many of us as singers, that a little swig of brandy is good for the singing. It's probably good for the nerves. I think there's probably scientific evidence to back that up. Whether it's actually good for the vocal cords, many teachers and trainers, I don't know, Ben, if you're still there, Ben Valen is one of the most amazing vocal coaches. I've had one small lesson with him and it's given me so much. He's part of the Jamie Vendera Vocal Academy, and just amazing stuff. Anybody who wants to learn to sing, go there. They're just brilliant. United States based, so obviously online lesson as far as I was concerned. And if Ben is listening, he's probably going to go, no, don't drink alcohol. Alcohol is drying and it's the worst thing for your voice. And I do know that, but sometimes it feels like the heat and the liquid fire that just goes down your throat just kind of opens things up a little bit. So I apologise if that's medically incorrect, but that's the way I often feel. So I will go up to a venue, to a bar, and say, can I get a shot of brandy, please? And they always try and put water and other rubbish in it. No, it's got to be just neat. And I often do it, and people behind these cool bars and venues I'm working in go, brandy? No, that's like a grandma's drink. We don't have brandy here. Sorry. And I just feel like grandma for asking. But, you got to think Thursday night, this place I was at was extremely cool. So I go up to the bar and say, and they said, oh, you've got a rider, so you can order what you want from the bar, and it's paid for. So that's fantastic. Burns away the phlegm. Thank you, John. That sounds a lot more scientific than just feels good going down your throat, like I would say. Yes, exactly, Eric. Amy's first hit was Rehab, and that does say a lot, unfortunately. Some choir ladies drink warm water. Well, they're a bit better behaved than I am, but I do that as well. But anyway, so I go up to this bar, this very cool Ramblin' Rascal hip bar, thinking, oh, my God, are they just going to throw me out for asking for brandy? And so I said, oh, hi, could I possibly get a nip of brandy? And the guy looks at me and goes, what kind? It's like I have found my home. What kind? You mean you have more than one kind of brandy? I don't actually know that much about brandy. I just know that I like it. I once did a tour sponsored by Hennessy to Malaysia, believe it or not, with my band. But that's cognac. It's not quite the same. That stuff's fantastic too. Thank you very much. But he said, what kind? I was so gobsmacked, I didn't know what to say. And I said, I'll go with your recommendation. He goes, you realise this is a brandy bar, don't you? And apparently brandy is back in fashion. Thank you very much. All those people that said it was a grandma drink, not true. I don't know if this is an international thing, but gin became a very big deal in lots of bars. So you'd go to a bar and get 50 types of gin. And I'm not such a fan of gin. Don't mind it, but, you know, I'd go for brandy any day. But apparently brandy is the new gin. So there you go. I was ahead of my time all the time. Catnip. Eric's got friends that suck on catnip. I thought that was just for, you know, little friends like this. You can just see your bottom now. Oh, you got a lovely smoky bottom. So, yeah, I'd never heard of that before. But anyway, oh, look at you, John. Yes. I'm going to learn that word for word so that I can say that next time somebody criticizes me for drinking brandy. Because every time I order at a bar, I say, it's medicinal. And they go, yeah, sure. Anyway, this guy said, okay, well, how about I give you our custom blend, which has this and this and this. He goes, but it is 56% alcohol. I went, And so he said, if you're driving, I'll water it down a little bit, which he did, but it was delicious. Anyway, the alcohol adventures continue. And look, I don't drink a lot of alcohol normally, but this weekend was a little bit naughty. So Friday night, I get to my venue and it's a bar. That's the thing, you know, we work in bars. What do? It's right there. It's a restaurant bar, so you eat and you drink. And I had a whole lot of friends there. Anyway, I set up and it's a place called Riverside and it's on the Nepean River in Penrith near the Blue Mountains in just out of Sydney. And I had a girlfriend there who I went to school with since I was 3 years old. We went all through school, all the way through high school together. And we kind of lost touch a little bit after that, you know, just kind of kept in touch a little bit. And we started keeping in touch again more recently when Facebook appeared and, you know, you could find out where people are much easier. And and she lives in the Blue Mountains, which is an hour away for me. So when I do gigs out there, she'll try and come along. And she came along and brought some friends, which was lovely. Anyway, I started playing my set and I did about 20 minutes and suddenly there's this really, really loud noise, like a whole lot of, you know, tin cans had fallen off a shelf or something and everyone looked at me. And so this restaurant bar's on the river and the front of it is all open. So, you know, there's kind of a deck and then there's the parkland and river just across, which is really lovely. Anyway, that's in a strip of restaurants. There's about 5 restaurants in the row and everybody stopped. I had to stop. Like I literally couldn't hear myself with this noise because it continued. It wasn't just one little noise. Looked out into the parkland and it's Chinese New Year, of course, Lunar New Year, and there was a dragon dance and there were people smashing cymbals together. When I say people, 20 people, and there was the whole dragon dance, which is fantastic, you know. I love doing that whole, you know, being part of someone else's culture like that. It's fantastic, but it's noisy. And I was being paid to just play the piano and sing, you know, just like I do for you. There's nothing else happening, so I can't possibly compete with that. So it was quite funny because I was singing Shallow and I was kind of mid-chorus, and then this noise happened and people going, oh, I like that song. And so anyway, after about 10 minutes, they'd finished. And so I said, where was I? And I just tried to start at the same place I'd finished. Then about 5 minutes later, it started up again. So I stopped again and just sat there and waited. It only went for about 5 minutes. So I did another song and then it started again. And basically the whole Chinese New Year celebration, dragon dance and everything else was on and off all night. And so my friends that had come to see me, the table that they were sitting at was just next to my little stage. So I would literally just, any time there was a gap, and I spoke to the management and said, you know, obviously I can't play my normal sets. I'll just play whenever I can. And so I was, you know, at the table, on the stage, at the table, on the stage all night. And it probably the little bits that I did, because there were some longer gaps as well, did add up to probably the normal amount of playing, but it was kind of weird. And as much as I love those kind of celebrations, it did get a bit much. Just the, the consistent cymbals. After 10 minutes of that, it's a little bit like my audience were actually doing that. And it wasn't to me for once. It was actually to somebody else. No, that's not true. Audiences don't usually do that. Although my mum who is getting on, in age, doesn't like the live music so much nowadays. So she's been in my audience going like that. And a friend of mine took a photo of it and sent it to me because I couldn't see her do that. But yes, when your own daughter, is someone you don't want to hear. It's pretty funny. Anyway, so that happened all night and that was funny. And then I stayed, and hung out with my friend and her friends, who were new friends for me, hung out with them for another hour. And then I went back and I had a sleepover, as my son Joey would say, with my friend up in the mountains. So I didn't have to drive home. And, you've got to remember, I went to school with my friend since we were 3, and so there's a lifetime of memories there, and there's a lot of gaps because we didn't always keep in touch. So we sat in her lovely kitchen. She pulled out the champagne, multiple bottles, and we'd already had a little bit at the restaurant, and she pulled out the cheese and the Maltesers. Everyone knows Maltesers, right? Those chocolate balls, just so yummy. And I can tell you, Maltesers, cheese and champagne are a great combination. And we sat up and we talked and we talked and we talked and we drank and we ate. And suddenly I'm looking out her glass windows onto her deck and it's light. 6:15. Oh my goodness. We talked and drank and ate all night. And it was really lovely. But I had a gig that day as well. So basically we went to bed and didn't have enough sleep because then I had to get up and go to my next gig. And so I've got to say, I have got a little bit of a tired voice, and not so much from the singing, which, is something that I'm used to, but the alcohol in large numbers does not help. But also the rah, 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 definitely doesn't help. And the chocolate and the cheese and all the things that are bad for your voice. So I'm probably sounding a little bit husky today. So I might not sing quite as much as I would normally because I am feeling a little bit tired in not just the voice, the entire body, because I had 3 gigs, then went to a muso cricket day on the Sunday. And yesterday I was a bit, and today I'm starting to feel normal, but, I don't bounce back as quickly as I did in my 20s, unfortunately. Oh, I'd love to hear about your trip to Bolivia, Sydney. I want to go there one day. And, yeah, Kevin's saying in the UK they still do the gin bars. Yeah, we still do the multiple flavours of gin here too. I just... and I thought that was still the main thing, but I was told by someone in the know that it's going to Brandy. So it's probably the same in the UK. You're probably going to Brandy as well. I don't know who starts these fashions, but they do tend to be international, don't they? Okay, so I've got a very big list of melancholy breakup songs, but a lot of them I require my full untired voice. So I might do another breakup song set next week. So I've even got a beautiful Barbara Streisand song, and I really can't have a tired voice to sing Babs, and I love Babs. So I will do that. I'll do the husky artist songs this week, and this is one of them.
want your ugly, I want your disease. I want your everything as long as it's free. I want your love. Love, 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 I want your love. I want your drama, the touch of your hand. I want your leather-studded kiss in the sand. I want your love. Love, 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 I want your love. I want your love and I want your revenge. You and me could write a bad romance. I want your love and all your love is revenge. You and me could write a bad romance. Oh, 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 oh. Caught in a bad romance. Oh, 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 oh. Caught in a bad romance. I want your love and I want your revenge. I want your love, I don't want to be friends. Je veux ton amour et je veux te revanche. Je veux ton amour, I don't want to be friends. I don't want to be friends. I don't want to be friends. Want your bad romance. I want your love and I want your revenge. You and me could write a bad romance. I want your love and all your love is revenge. You and me could write a bad romance. Oh, 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 oh. Caught in a bad romance. Oh, 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 oh. Caught in a bad romance. Ra, 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 Roma, Roma, ma, ga, ga, ooh la la. Want your bad romance.
Harry Nilsson, You're Breaking My Heart. I will check that one out. Yes, Ken, I love Leanne LaHarvis. She is just amazing. Absolutely love her. Thank you, guys. So that was my Friday night, and I was intending to go home. You know, it's about an hour's drive to my home, which is was out east compared to where I was in the Blue Mountains. But because we didn't go to bed till 6:15, and I thought I kind of need my sleep to sing properly, you know, unfortunately. And so I tried to get sleep, but probably got about 4 hours because just, you know, you're not used to, well, I'm not used to sleeping at that time in the morning. And then we got up, did a little bit of a walk around the area because my friend wanted to show me the area because it's so beautiful. And then basically it was time to go. So instead of going home, I had everything with me anyway from the last gig, and I might have worn the same outfit Friday and Saturday night. Don't tell anybody. But so I went straight to the gig and I had a big chili prawn pizza because it helps soak up the champagne. We know that, don't we? Yes, I do love the Bad Romance version by Postmodern Jukebox. And yes, I saw the message and Letter to a Small Boy. I will sing another time, but they've both got really high notes in them. Because I always write songs with high notes because I like singing high, but when I've had a big weekend, it's not so. I don't do such a good job of them. But yes, they're on the list, absolutely. Is she still there? Yes. Have a look at my Smoky. This is Smoky Cam, so that's live. I mean, I know there's not much movement happening, but what I've been doing during the days is actually poking her awake, which might seem really mean. I do it nicely. I kiss and cuddle her. Yeah, and yes, I do kiss my cat. Sorry if you think that's disgusting like many people do. Not on the lips or anything. But I've been waking her up during the day because otherwise this happens. And this isn't a video of my cat, but it's totally what my cat does. Check this out. You love that. The best bit is the cat at the beginning. Look at that face. Oh, I love it. And so that's why. That's why I have to wake her up during the day, otherwise she'll end up causing havoc all through the night and waking everybody up. That's what your cats do too, John. I know, it's fantastic. But not if you want to actually get some sleep. So this is a song I played before. I counted it as an Australian song, even though apparently originally we haven't got Denis here today, I don't think. But it used to be a French song. Well, still is, I suppose. But it used to be a French kind of disco song. I don't know how somebody could have turned it into what they did, thought ahead to think that it would work, but it totally did. And it's by an artist who is originally Canadian. I guess she's always Canadian, but she's an Australian citizen now too. And Wendy Matthews, who was someone I used to tour with for many years. And she's very successful here in Australia and was actually touring with a band called the Little River Band. And they're Australian, but they had a lot of international success. And so she was touring with them overseas in the States, and they came to Australia, you know, their home country, to do some gigs. She came with them, then fell in love with Australia. So the cat's saying, "Is this thing on?" Like that. My mum does that when I do Skype with her. You sometimes just get this, or sometimes you just get this, and her face is right up at the camera. It's very cute. So this is a Wendy Matthews song that was a very, very big hit in Australia. Does it ever make you wonder what's on my mind? Hey, I was on the other run and back to your side. I never cried, I just watched my life go by. It's just a pack of lies, 'cause you're leaving me behind. Hey, after this long, is there nothing I'll keep? Oh, I can shout, you'll pretend you're falling asleep. I never lied, yeah, believing that you're mine. It's just a waste of time, 'cause you're leaving me behind. Hey, there's not a cloud in the sky, it's as blue as your blue goodbye. And I thought that it would rain on a day like today. Hey, there's not a cloud in sight, it's as blue as your blue goodbye. And I thought that it would rain the day you went away. Does it ever make you wonder what's on my mind? Ooh, yeah. I was on the other run and back to your side. Hey, there's not a cloud in the sky, it's as blue as your blue
blue goodbye, and I thought that it would rain on a day like today. Hey, there's not a cloud in sight, it's blue as your blue goodbye, and I thought that it would rain the day you went away. He's on the buses and the aeroplanes with some groceries and a sleeping bag.
So that's called Day You Went Away. Lonesome Loser. No, that's a good one. Yes. Waking up with the cat sat in your chest with full-on cat breath. Yes. Especially when they've had tuna or something for breakfast, and any kind of cat food doesn't smell great, does it? Let me see. I saw these series of photos on the internet recently, and I think it's a Belgian guy. Him and his wife have had a baby, and it's a toddler. She has gone back to work and he is staying at home, but she is being an overprotective mum, and she's checking in all the time on her husband and the baby at home. Is the baby safe? Are you making sure? And so I think he must be a professional photographer, but he got sick of her overprotectiveness and started sending her these photos to put her mind at rest. That's one of my favourites. He's good at Photoshop. Don't you love it? Oh, I think it's very clever. I got to say, the first time I saw the photo of the little baby sitting on the edge of the cliff, and I was so shocked because I hadn't read it yet. So can you imagine? Yeah, so as long as the baby's wearing ear protection, so it's fine. Give them a sharp tool, no problem. Very funny. Okay, this is one of my favourite breakup sad songs, definitely a melancholy song. And this is being done by a few different people. I'm trying to think of the name of the first singer. I know somebody there will know. I've got the word Spencer. No, maybe Spencer. It's from the 60s originally, but it's been covered a lot.
Why does the sun go on shining? Why does the sea rush to shore? Don't they know it's the end of the world, 'cause you don't love me anymore? Why do the birds go on singing? Why do the stars glow above? Don't they know it's the end of the world? It ended when I lost your love. I wake up in the morning and I wonder why everything's the same as it was. I can't understand, no, I can't understand how life goes on the way it does. Why does my heart go on beating? Why do these eyes of mine cry? Don't they know it's the end of the world? It ended when you said goodbye. Why does my heart go on beating? Why do these eyes of mine cry? Don't they know it's the end of the world? It ended when you said goodbye.
Spencer Davis, thank you very much. Oh, you still have your original 45. Skeeter Davis. Spencer Davis. That's someone else. Skeeter Davis. Thank you very much. That's why I was thinking of Spencer, because of Spencer Skeeter, I think. But there's something truly heartbreaking about that song. But I don't know. I suppose most people have had their heart broken in some ways or another. And if you have, it is that feeling like, how come the rest of the world is just going on as normal when I feel this shit? Like, it feels like to me that it's the complete end of the world, yet the sun's shining and the sea's still coming into shore, the birds are still chirping, and it's really not the end of the world, but that's the way it feels to me. So, yes, I can relate to that. And another one, I think maybe At the Door was maybe my saddest breakup song. I don't know, there's a big competition there. But one of the big heartbreak songs on Chanteuse, which is my second full-length album, and probably still kind of one of my favourite of my own songs, is a song called Stolen, or Stolen Away, as some people call it. And, you know, I had a very long relationship, the same one. That's actually, I've got to thank this ex-boyfriend. If we ever spoke, which we never do, I'd have to thank him to, hey, Shane, 1962, wow. That's right. I was thinking of Spencer Davis group. That's why I was getting Skeeter Davis and Spencer Davis mixed up. But yes, the same breakup that was responsible for the At the Door song is actually also responsible for this older song. And of course, At the Door, the whole pile of photos and stuff that got put on my parents' doorstep was years after we'd actually broken up. And the song Stolen was written closer to the time that we actually did break up. And it was that feeling, it was a long relationship, and it was, you know, there were a lot of good things. Otherwise, you know, you wouldn't be in a relationship, would you? And it almost it felt like to me that the relationship was stolen. And it wasn't by a third person or anything like that. It's just, it felt like something was taken rather than my choice to end it, which was the case. But part of the reason I called it Stolen was because the chords that I use in the song, I'd heard in another song and I loved, and so I pinched them. And if you were here with me last week, you would know that a set of chords is not a copyright issue. There are, you know, thousands and thousands of songs written on top of the same chords, but sometimes I'll hear chord progressions in a song and it'll really appeal to me. And obviously the melody you write on top of it is so completely different that it's not a problem. If you write the same melody, then it's a problem. But while we were in isolation lockdown here in Australia back in, it was probably April or May, you know, I had zero work, and that's coming back now, so that's great. But I still had that, you know, desire to do music, even though I couldn't perform live anywhere. And so I started doing different things, and I look back at that time and I really enjoyed it in many ways. And one of the things I liked best about my song Stolen were the harmony parts. So I decided to do a version that was just the voice, me being the different voices, but me just doing the vocal parts, so an a cappella version. So I thought I'd drag that out of the vault from last year and play that.
Been such a long time, but here you are on my mind, like back in another time, before we got left behind. I write a blue melody to remind you of me, so that the heart in me won't weigh so heavily. I know it's too late today, and I know I walked away, but I was just hoping you'd tell me to stay. I know it's too late today, but I felt I had to say, I never wanted it stolen away. The calendar hanging here still says it's July last year, before the change in the weather, when things were much better. Please don't get me wrong, things couldn't go on, and now that they're said and done, the world keeps on spinning on. I know it's too late today, and I know I walked away, but I was just hoping you'd tell me to stay. Stolen away, stolen away. Stolen away, stolen away. I was just hoping to
So that was the a cappella version of Stolen, which is from my Chanteuse album. And I'm going to say goodbye at this point. Thank you so much for joining me. I will next week continue the breakup song theme, because I have a bunch more songs, including some of my own, because, you know, that's my specialty, that I'd like to play for you. And if you ever want to, that a cappella video I just played of Stolen, if you ever want to see more stuff like that, I've got a heap of stuff, and had even more stuff as a result of quarantine on my YouTube page. And my new YouTube page is under Amanda Easton. I think I'm the only one there, but it's youtube.com/Amanda Easton, and there's an a cappella playlist. There's a duet playlist, because during quarantine I also started just, you know, people that I didn't even know that well, just sent them a message saying, hey, do you want to do a duet, you know, just for fun? And, you know, this was when I didn't have any gigs. So it was, I had time and the brain space to do things like that. So go over to the YouTube page and get all my standard music videos over there, live versions. Of course, all of these live vlogs live there as well. So, you know, I'm supposed to say, because my son watches YouTube all the time, smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe and all that kind of stuff. Gary, goodbye. Oh, goodbye. Hello and goodbye. Anyway, lovely to see you. Yes, I will see you next Monday, your time, which is Tuesday morning, 11 a.m. my time. So thank you so much for joining me. And I've also been told, I have to mention this, this is a tip jar that I put on PayPal. I know a lot of people are struggling at the moment. So if you are, don't even consider it. I'm just so happy to have you here. But if you do feel like tipping for the music or anything else, it's certainly appreciated. Anyway, next week at the same time, I will see you. So lovely to see you all. Stay well. Bye.